hath settled upon the realm of Britain, for it hath endured a desolation of 16 winters, bereft of a high king to guide and unite the land. The Supreme Collegium, entrusted with the sacred duty to anoint a rightful sovereign, hath faltered in its solemn task, lamented the whispers among the people. The 9 surviving legates, their voices entangled in a web of protocol and precedence, hath failed to act. Alas, it seemeth the twilight of the Collegium, as a potent body hath descended upon us. Throughout the land, tales abound of tribute paid, but alas, it floweth not into the coffers of a worthy ruler, but rather into the hands of invaders and those ill-fitted to the throne. The noble lords of Logris, once stalwart pillars of our realm, hath been laid low, though some secrets lie shrouded in mystery. Duke Ulfius, a survivor of many a harsh winter, findeth himself enshrouded in whispers of a shadowy alliance with the treacherous South Saxon. Duke Corneus, long in hiding, hath emerged from the shadows, and as he journeyed northward with exiles from Anton, a fateful clash hath erupted at the border of East Saxon. In the wake of many a raid upon Caerwent, key strongholds once lost hath been reclaimed. The Irish, like a relentless horde, wage war upon the lands of Gales, swarming in their thousands, akin to vermin unleashed upon the fields. Norgales, in the throes of despair, offereth tribute to the mountain tribal leaders, known as the 3 Cadlus. These Cadlus, in their quest for willing souls to join their cause, dangle the allure of plunder. Yet, little plunder will be found in battling against the Irish. In the heart of Cambria, the kingdoms of Escavalon and Cambrian convene beneath the banners of peace, a meeting graced by the presence of the illustrious kings Leo de Grance and Nanteleod. King Idris of Cornwall hath need of willing souls, and the castellan of Castle Dimmock in Tintagel doth seek volunteers for his cause to defend against the King of Cornwall. King Cerdic of Wessex, ever the ambitious warlord, raiseth a formidable host, and seeketh the aids of mercenaries. A fleet of ships, a foreboding harbinger of strife, hath also been amassed under his banner. In the fabled lands of Salisbury, the great Marshal's tournament hath been postponed, for news of turmoil along their western borders hath reached their ears. The Castle Woodhouse, a bastion once held by the late Prince Madoc, and a hoary hill fort of Westford Castle, are said to have fallen under the dominion of mercenary armies. Yet the superstitious whisper of fey folk and giants, laboring to reclaim what was lost in the days of Uther's invasion of the magician king's Summerland. Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of Nanteleod's Legacy. It's a Pendragon campaign set in Cambria, specifically the kingdom of Escavalon and the city of Carlian, or Carlion, I guess. Let's go ahead and quickly rip through our crew here, talk about them, who they're playing, and then we'll get started. Start left to right. We're going to go with you first, Yampa.
It is I, once again, Yampa, playing Sir Rune, and I'm very excited to be back.
Welcome back, friend. We'll go to Wergar next.
Hey guys, great to be back. Wergar playing Sir Carlos. Hopefully, God willing. Well, actually, no, I'm pagan, so hopefully the gods willing, my romance goes well.
There you go. There you go. We're gonna go to Drax next.
All right, I'm Drax. I play Sir Rain, and I am the Fumble Master in Chief.
Yeah, no, that's true. I was about to give you a pep talk, but no, you're probably right.
I've fumbled at least 3
Yeah,
times in every
yeah,
game session so far, so yeah.
it's true. And only if you were playing D&D, you'd be rolling once instead. So it's just how it goes. It's how it do. All right, we're gonna go over to Bert next. Bert. Bert.
It is Friday the 13th with Lassam Bruja. And yeah, I'll be playing Sir Cormac.
All right. And last but not least, we got Trent.
Hello. I'm Trent, playing Third Gwydir. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to my next girlfriend. Pretty bored of this one already.
We at 1 per session right now? I think we are.
I think so. Yeah. There might be some others on the side that we're not aware of, but I'm sure they'll come.
Yeah,
alert.
I'm sure. And they'll
That's
pop
what the
up
winter phase
eventually.
is for. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So we're getting ready for this crew to leave Carmarthen. I just want to know, is there anything you want to go over? Maybe I ought to recap it a little bit here. Well, I'm going to turn down the music. It's crazy loud for me. There we go. Better. All right. So when we last left off, we went through the feast in Carmarthen. On the visit there, we ran into the king's relative, Neve, who Gwydir is now betrothed to, formally. You met a number of folks at the feast, including King Derek, Prince Locke, the Squire Locke, who got knighted into Sir Locke, and you also saw a mountain king, apparently, that got brought in to be tried and brought to justice. And he was brought in by some gruff-looking Irish cur alongside Sir Locke, or the Squire Locke at the time he was brought in. You were given the impression that you're in a bit of a standstill unless you want to try and convince Nanteleod to pay tribute to the king. So we'll maybe pick back up, I think, with you guys on the road, because you probably have some conversation about this once you get out of sort of, maybe we'll say you're back into the borders already, like of Escavalon, because then you probably feel more comfortable talking in the open about this experience, right? And we'll assume that Neve's not like with you. That's to be held probably next year, Gwydir, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seems fine.
All right.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So, good idea. That's 2 now.
Well, I suppose it's two. It's one cannot be held
It's 1.5.
accountable. maybe 2.5. It's neither here nor there. Though. I feel like we're not exactly looking for these things, but sometimes they come and find us. So
No, you're looking for it. And what'll
You're
be
Well-
really
looking
funny
for it.
is eventually her father's gonna cave your skull in.
well, as long as I get an hour before that happens, then it's all the same by me, frankly.
So
Gotta die of something. If it's at least by another knight's hand, then well, that's something I can look forward to. I think.
Elaine, who's like this only knight riding alongside the lot of you, he kind of rides in close to Rune, and it's not quiet. He's just, not wanting to interrupt other conversation. But he says to Sir Rune, "Do we have a formal recommendation for the king?"
Well, I believe the Irish king put it very bluntly. Either Nanteleod starts paying tribute, or we will be at war.
That did seem the case.
And if he asks for your advice,
I would always advise for the safer routes, but there's also the matter of honor and bending our knees.
The safer route's killing them before they kill us. If there's war, then we should start it.
Well, I would agree a peaceful resolution would be the most prudent. I failed to see any outcome for that. There is no doubt that wars are going to be among us.
Could we even withstand Estragales and Leinster together?
It doesn't matter. We'll make them bleed for everything.
I'm with you on that one.
did anybody notice how the king was conducting himself? He's still relatively young. And he goes out and just has another king executed. Granted, he was only an Irish mountainman, not something to be really concerned with on his own.
Yeah. I'm thinking that these tribesmen, if we do decide to go on the warpath, might be good allies.
The question would be, can we give them?
Autonomy.
And that their kings don't go out around getting beheaded.
Yeah. I would say relative protection, at least.
As long as they stay up in the mountains.
Create a king that is executing their leaders and their wise men, for a king that at least gives them proper respect. Even if our own king, won't necessarily consider them equal.
Do we know
But-
where Nanteleod stands within these views?
I'm not privy to that.
Not my place. But a king that respects them, a king that respects their territory, is very different from one that respects their need to expand.
I agree.
all right. That seems like a good shift forward point. Everyone comfortable with me moving us forward to all the way into the city?
I'm good.
Yeah, I liked it. That was good.
As you guys move closer to Escavalon, you see that the city itself, or sorry, Carline, city itself seems to be in some sort of like a ceremony, I guess you notice like there's a lot of decoration and almost like a festival in the town as you ride through.
Is that for my wedding?
Are they are there any like are there any holidays coming up that I just am spacing on?
For our pagan friends, it's not far from summer solstice, but that's not celebrated in Carlisle, and that's for damn sure. They are
Yeah.
fully converted to the Christian calendar at this point. Even the archbishop's here.
Which is why I'm asking.
I know, I was just giving you all the news, so the pagan folks would know that it's close to summer solstice.
Goody will just ride up to a random person. What's all this then?
Let's see. I'm gonna give a justice roll here. Just for some flavor. Give me a second.
Sure.
I didn't bring that one over. Damn it. All right. I just wanted to see if it was a peddler or not. I'll say it's a peddler. He probably didn't approach a night like that. He looks up at you and he's like, "Hmm." Actually, hold on. She looks your way and she's like, "Oh, my lord, the king is here."
The king
Yeah.
is it our king?
Nanteleod lives here.
No, a foreign king. I think it's Uther.
Oh boy.
Uther. Uther's been. Wait, it's 4. Is he? He's dead at this point,
Uther's
isn't he?
dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he's super dead as of like 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some bullshit
Okay.
going on.
Fair lady, Uther's dead.
Are you sure
Slain by
about that?
poison in his own feast.
Oh, must be another king. He's foreign.
I guess it makes sense. Everyone wants to try to ply their hand at being High King.
Where is this foreign king?
Oh, well, he's in treating with the lords in the castle. There's a feast.
So Rain just kind of looks at the rest of his comrades with like an arched brow. He's not sure how to take this information.
Well, obviously we take it at face value. Well, thank you. Have a pleasant day. May God be with you.
Or whoever else you like.
Or God.
Nuts.
Your choice.
Okay. Roger that. Anything you guys want to do on the way? Yeah. What do you want to do from here? Maybe we'll zoom back in on you guys for a second.
Well, if there's a feast, I do want to see about getting cleaned up before I return to the king.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
Sir Rain wouldn't mind that, but he's not gonna go out of his way for it because yeah. But he would be curious to hear if there's any sort of rumors going around as he's going. See if he overhears anything. But
But he just rides straight to the castle. He probably looks over at Sir Elaine and he's like, "I'll race you."
Elaine will smile if you're going to the stables, not like riding right up to the castle. He'll follow. He'll
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Horsemanship roll, good sir. Let's see how you do.
Nope. Probably kill a civilian.
It's not a fumble.
Yeah.
You get stuck behind a wagon. Some
Yeah.
peddlers towing a wagon, and you end
Damn
up.
peasant.
Yeah. It's like traffic, when you get caught behind traffic. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of
One
road
day,
rage.
Sarah One day.
It rides off at a steady pace. Smiles.
Yeah.
All right. Anything anyone wants to do before we transition into the hall? Any
Just
little
rumors.
vignettes?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just trying to overhear what the talk of the town is since we've been gone.
We're just
Not
getting
saying I
themselves
took
cleaned
anything
up.
out, but yeah.
Yeah, I think actually Cercalis would be getting cleaned up, but also I think he'd probably go by his family's holdings and probably since they're like either in the city or close to it, he'd probably ask them to see since they've been likely been in the city longer than he has
Mm-hmm.
about what exactly are all these festivities going on.
Your family, oddly enough, is in the festivities, but some of their servants are present at your home, and they tell you that a Cambrian king has arrived with banners of peace, currently trading with Nanteleod. So certainly a hell of a lot more than you got before from the commoner. At least the servants aware of a little bit.
Different quality peasants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What this tells you too is that likely your family doesn't always show up to the Easter feast. So that's whatever this is, it's of interest to make an intrigue roll.
All right. Intrigue.
And you can do the same, Jax, since you were looking for rumors. Fair enough.
It's not Varys here, so he's not
Yeah.
as good as at the intrigue stuff. So
Yeah. So Kalis, you know that there's kind of there's quite a few kings in Cambria, aka Wales, right? The big names right now, there's Nanteleod of Escavalon, Derek of Estergales, the missing king of Norgales, Helenor.
Ooh.
Yeah. There is Leo de Grants of Cambrian. And then there are a bunch of more hill tribesmen kings, including Gomerette.
yeah, I was just gonna ask about that. Yeah, Gomer. Yeah, so that's more hill tribe stuff. Okay.
That is where the and sorry, I'm trying to temper it with how much you guys would actually know in your respective faces. Rumor has had it that there are hill tribesmen up in Norgales, which kind of sometimes represents Gomerette and sometimes doesn't represent Gomerette. But those hill tribesmen have been warring with Pelenor's brothers since King Pelennor went absent. Something about him running off to chase some beast in the forest, something of the sort.
Right. Yeah.
And no one's clear on whether or not he's actually returned or not. So then there are a number of hill tribesmen dispersed through, obviously a lot of Powys is hill tribes. And I'm not even showing this through here. I'm giving all these names. But there's a lot of hill tribesmen all through everywhere where you see mountains.
Okay.
Now the hills tribe stuff, is that the Cambrian mountain men?
Yeah, there are a whole bunch. So the ones you ran into would have been kind of over in Estergales, probably, considering you retrieved them from there.
Well, I just had a directed trait, so I was just curious how it was going to play with that.
Yeah. What is is it hate?
No, it's a suspicious. It's only it's a low level one. I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's gonna come up real soon. All right. let's go ahead and dive in, unless anyone else had anything they wanted to do.
I mean, Cormac just went to go clean up. So, I guess nothing much.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone noble that was around Carlion is in the feast right now. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So you can call on family and stuff in this. Now that we have names, at least we don't have logos yet, but we have. All right, we don't have tokens yet for them, but we have them. And then
Yeah, I'll
for
open
any
it back.
betrothed, I got to get with you guys offline and make sure. I'm sure it'll come up in the winter phase. Honestly, it's the time that's just dealt with. So, as you arrive, you see someone at the high table along with Nanteleod, Archbishop Dubricus. Let's go through these people. Nanteleod. This is Dubricus. Sir Elaine is present with you all. He arrives with you all. Sir Ithel. And Sir Cedric is present. And then Saint Iltid is below the salt. He regularly offers his seat up to a knight. So we'll see if any of you get below the salt. He'll trade with one of you to be below the salt.
Okay, so that's a
Would die.
common thing for Saint Iltiid.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's very humble.
I was gonna say, quite the noble saint there. Yeah.
Okay, so we will start with some app rolls, folks. If you have fashion or anything, gives you.
Wow.
Oh, Trent fumbled. I failed. And then made 2
Yeah.
successes.
I did not get changed after.
Clearly,
I-
yeah. He.
I rushed into the hole.
Fresh
Real
off the
quick,
road with your
guys.
chainmail.
So the way this works is when you fumble, you roll again. If
Ah.
you succeed, then you're just -1 from where you would have landed before. So
Yeah,
so
succeeded.
Whittier,
Real quick. Sorry, go ahead.
Whittier and Rain. What's up, Rain?
You said something about fashion. Does that count if I have like rich clothing, rich night clothing?
Yep. What does it say next to the clothing? Does it say +1 app?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll look it up. It's got height.
We'll assume that's what it is. So give yourself a +1 modifier to your app score here.
+1. Let's see.
Oh.
Oof.
They're all below the salt.
You guys are
tonight.
getting here like really late. That could be part of it, right?
Just no seats left. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I succeeded.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but it's you. You're always succeeding, Mr. Cormac.
Collis succeeded.
Yeah.
Really? I was below the salt last time.
I know. Have you been on the floor yet? No.
No. But so
I have.
far, this is the first piece that Cormac's been to where he wasn't below the salt.
You're right.
All right. So in this case, Saint Iltid is probably most likely to give up his seat for Rain because Rain is got the British Christian.
The religious knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I think that would be the case in this one.
Oh, Rain would thank him profusely for that. I mean, he can't even put it to words.
I think it's like if Cormac or Rain have it, otherwise it's just, Okay, so we'll do that. Rune, how
That's
do you
all.
feel about being below people that literally were just serving you right now? Serving under you.
I mean, he's famously modest. I don't think he's too
Okay.
faced by it.
I like
That's
it.
fair. Yeah.
I like it. So there's a little rule we don't play with, but I think it'd be fun to implement it eventually. Is like there's a rule where if someone with a lower glory than you ends up above you, you get mad about it.
Oh, well, I definitely have lower glory than everyone else. So Lots of mad people.
Lots of mad people. For now, we'll just say narratively for the NPCs, they get mad when someone who doesn't typically belong there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dog knight is ahead of them right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
it. Okay, so the feast is full of drunk people and people celebrating. You notice a contingent. The contingent is uh, here with on their lapels. There is a banner very similar to how you wear on your lapels Nanteleod's swords on the red coat of arms. You see a coat of arms with a gold lion on a black what do you call it, field. There we go.
Field.
And I stopped the music to do this. Okay. Don't worry, gang. There's more than just feasts, but there is some politicking to do. So let's do the politicking or roll pull cards. Up to you. We're gonna start with Cormac, 2-round feaster. Let's do it.
It's a 2-round feast.
Actually, sorry, I'm
Oh.
gonna double it back. Feaster is preserved for when it's the feast of Easter. It's not that right now. So it's just a 2-round
Right.
feast.
I think you've also forgotten something else there. Although,
What'd I forget?
Trust.exe.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Poppus and P!
Barbus and peas.
That sounds
Classic.
completely gross.
Oh, pastries though, and chips.
Yep.
Right.
Roast brim in a pastry mode. Nice. So we've got like
Yeah.
fish pies. Anyone know what capon is?
Capon is a fish.
Fish.
Okay,
So we've got
fish
fish,
pies.
and
Fish and chips.
not quite fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the rain's gonna
Fish
abstain
pies,
the first course.
fish and chips.
We have fish and chips.
Fish pie and chips.
Yeah, so we got like fish and peas, which is very British. Fish and chips, very British, and fish pies, very British.
Okay, well,
Except
accurate then.
technically, porpoise is not a fish, but don't worry about that. Okay.
Well, they might think it is. I mean, you know.
I think in this era, everything that's in the sea is a fish. I reckon pelicans are probably a fish.
Alright. First thing I have to do as Cormac is he's just going to go around taking care of those around him.
Classic.
Just classic Cormac. Everything he does is about other people. So I'm gonna roll a temperate roll to take care of everyone around him.
Right. Let's see. Oh, buddy.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. What are we gonna describe this? It's not a fumble, but what is it? Is it Finn?
I feel like it's
obviously-
probably Gwydir could be
I'm a
taking
little-
the piss a little bit. Like maybe I just keep asking you for shit, and you just like I'm just monopolizing all of your time, so you can't actually help other people. So you like, I'm like, oh, you're helping people, Oh, bring me some more of that porpoise, No, not that one from the far side of the room, and you're just like too nice to actually not do it.
I mean, it's a better description than what I was going to suggest. So yeah.
Yeah. Just absolutely taking advantage of your kindness because it's funny. He's not doing it to be cruel. He's doing it because it's funny to fuck with you.
Because it's funny. That's fair.
My
yeah.
question is would Sir Rain notice that he's getting sidetracked by Gwydir? I'm just
yeah,
curious because that
probably.
might influence what I do.
I don't
Just
see.
don't
I don't
punch me in
see
the
why.
head.
I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, so
I'm
not-
just curious. Okay,
I'm not being sneaky about it.
No.
all right.
And you're near the salt, so you could absolutely
Okay,
observe that.
all right.
It is Collis's turn.
I think Sir Carlos would be very intrigued by the new face, or the guest of honor, really.
Yeah.
So I think he would grab a cup of ale and try and find people that he knows near the salt and
Okay.
figure out what's all going on and who this person is.
Perfect. So you are. You got. I mean, we established your family was here. So let's do that. We'll start with like an intrigue roll for rumor caching.
Mm.
All right, that's good. I'm just pulling up your family here.
Yeah, let me do the same, actually.
We're gonna name one of your uncles right now.
On the spot.
Yeah. Here we go. Random person. Nodens, Sir Nodens. That is your uncle. Your second uncle. I'm editing.
Pretty cool stat rolls.
Yeah, take those with a grain of salt. Sometimes they don't make sense. Probably.
And that's on my mother's side, correct?
Yep.
Sir Carlos would clap him on the shoulder and sort of lean down. Uncle Noden, how you been? Came to ask, I just arrived back in the city from a quest, and what's exactly going on? This is very confusing. I've never seen a feast this large before, and it seems like every noble in Carlion has attended.
Oh, he's like a little. Is he maybe arbitrary house? Yeah, he's probably drunk. Just being merry. He says, "Oh, did you notice the guest of honor here, the king?
Ah, yes, but which king?
King King Leo de Grants. They call him.
France.
Carla, somewhere in the north. He says Carlion, which is literally where you guys are. So you can tell he's a bit
He's toast.
toast. A few too many drinks in.
He'll thank his uncle and say, "A drink to you."
Raise his glass.
And yeah, he'll raise his and take a swig, and then still be kind of confused on. All right, well now what does this king want? And sort of rub his chin about that, but I think that'd probably be about what Sir Carlos does.
All right.
Very cool.
We are going to cut over to Rain next.
All right. Sir Rain noticed that Sir Cormac is being sidetracked by Whittier's cousin? Is that what it is? By his cousin Whittier, and kind of comes over with some of the stuff that Whittier was requesting, and kind of gives Cormac a look to kind of let him slip away so he can go tend to his duties. And Rain kind of bites the bullet and kind of tends to Whittier for the round.
Go all the way down below the salt just to bring me some porpoise.
Yep. I mean, that's.
Let's test temperate first to see if you get interrupted in your rolls.
See if I get interrupted or not. Yeah, I like that because I mean my rolls have been just splendid, in these feasts. So I mean, I am famously temperate, so hopefully I have good luck tonight. And I do. I'm good.
Look at
Ooh,
that.
nice.
There we go. So that's my plan. I'm going to try to buy Cormac a window to go tend to his duties for the temperate business.
Yeah.
No, it's
Sit-
nice of you.
St. Iltid's over here giving you the Robert Redford silent nod of approval or whatever from that movie.
I love that.
You gotta pay it forward, right? Yeah.
That is the best gift.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to ruin the fun like that, then I'm not hungry anymore.
Understandable. I can see where that would be, but your cousin needs to tend to his own issues from time to time.
My cousin needs to lighten up a little bit. Jesus, Mans. I mean, I wouldn't say Jesus. By the gods. Mans. It's a feast. And he's always off looking after everyone else. It's too much.
It's a fair point. I can understand it, but It's what he wishes to do.
All right, well, I thank you nonetheless. You're a very kind man. So, well
Thank
done
you.
to you.
You're a most generous man.
And we can flip right with that. The camera stays on Gwydir because it's his turn.
I have
And I'll be
2,000
right
glory
back.
now. Do I get 2 cards?
Do you have glory this game 2000 or is it glory for the year yet? Because it doesn't
For the
tally.
year.
Yeah, it doesn't tally
okay.
until winter phase,
For
unfortunately.
the end. Okay. Give me dangerous. Yes. I have heaps of skill with dagger. This is absolutely something Gwydir would do.
Yeah, this is like bang on Gwydir.
Yeah.
This is probably
What's going
Gwydir-
on over here?
Yeah. I bet this
Yeah.
is Gwydir inviting other people to play the dangerous game.
yeah. And actually, yeah. Anyone else want to come in? You can get one geniality. I don't want to take over GMing, but dagger.
the
5.
only other-
Fuck yeah. They ask you to join dagger. I just roll dagger, and if I succeed, I get geniality and attack on dagger. Easy. Hey,
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
That's actually really good for how that could have turned out.
that's just
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I feel like Gwydir just sort of is walking past to try and get some more porpoise, and he just sees it happening and just like picks a guy out of the chair, sits down, nails it, and then just like flips the dagger over his shoulder and leaves.
Yeah, we'll say it's impressive too because like one of these knights is actually like the knight that handed you the dagger is from Leo de Grant's entourage. Like
Yeah, right,
obviously
right.
not one of his like main knights, probably one of like the auxiliary that came with him just to make him
Yeah.
blow the salt.
Yeah. So he probably like walks off, in an utter, display of pride, and then he's like, "Fuck, well, thanks to gods that worked." Taking his hand like, "Fuck."
It's like, man, that worked a lot better than I thought it would. It's like you
Yeah.
played that
It was
game
going.
not
It was.
knowing that was gonna work. Oh, figure it out.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great.
That brings us to Rune for round 1.
If I unmute myself, maybe I'll be able to talk.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like you said that our families are here, right?
They are. Yep.
I think with my love family, I'm going to go to said family, seeing as Gwydir is playing with knives, and I don't want Rune wants nothing to do with that. And he's gonna roll temper, just like work around, just like he hasn't seen him in a while. Why not like serve a few drinks, see how they're doing.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You guys are so temperate. What the fuck?
What is your love family at?
15.
15? I will give you a test, and if you succeed in it, I will give you a tick on it for this.
Hey. Come on, baby.
Oh.
Hey.
Yep, indeed. All right, so you can get a tick. So you look after your family. Is there anything you want to check up on, like on screen, or are you just kind of doing it in the back? Like, is there any conversation you want to have with anyone in particular?
I think at this point he'd be like prepping himself to like deliver the news to King Nanteleod. He just wants to just like relax for a bit before he does.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, your family is super grateful for being looked after. Which will say that like, your brothers are here as well, or your brother is here. Hold on. Okay, and Brynmore, yeah, you got multiple older brothers. That brings us to the end of the round, folks. So round 2, closing round of the feast. Nice short one, but makes sense that there'd be a feast if kings are trading with one another. We're back at the top with Cormac.
I am not the political one of the group. I will simply draw a card. Oh.
You keep getting this shit. Is it
Oh,
you that
look
keeps
at
getting
that.
this?
Who got it the last time? Who
Can't
got the
remember. I
lady?
thought
in
this
the-
was
Wazir did.
Was it me?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have gotten this because I would have just fought the guy.
Oh no, it's courtesy, so no.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Do you guys remember
Rune.
who?
It was Rune.
Rune.
That's
Was it
right.
me?
Yes,
Or was it
because
Rain? It could have been me. I
was
might have had
somebody.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
feel
No,
someone
it
got in a
wasn't.
duel
Collis.
over. Oh, that was the duel.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Oh, then that was me. That was
It
me.
was. Yeah, it was Rune. Yeah. The duel.
All right. Let's see it, Cormac.
All right. I'm gonna. Can I impassion myself with hospitality?
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, because the way I'm seeing this is like one of. Okay. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I'm seeing this is one. Leo de Grance didn't just bring knights. He brought a whole entourage, and this is a lady in his entourage who's being like.
Let us find out. Another Bryn. I have like 100. And she's from. Interesting.
South Counties of Logos.
So like, Salisbury. Oh.
Barracks.
Oh. That's.
I'm gonna say because it pulled from elsewhere. We'll just say it's from Leo de Grance. It just makes sense. Versus
Okay.
some barracks Saxon lady. Just doesn't make sense.
I was about to say, I will. Okay.
And so this lady is from Leo de Grance's group, anyways.
Yes.
That much you know.
And I succeed.
All right. What do you say to get the knight off her back? We're gonna make it the same dude too. What was his name? What was the douchey knight's name?
It's a sword lord.
Oh, don't make it the same dude, because I
Yes,
can't.
please do. We must make this guy the nemesis of our group.
I don't
Yeah,
have it
but
in my
I
notes.
can't stand up to him in any sort of anything.
You can get
You don't
better.
have to.
Bench
You'll
press
do
him.
it.
Your courtesy succeeds.
Yeah, you talked your way out of it. Yeah.
What's his name?
I know, right?
I'll look it up. I'll find it in the previous YouTube.
Justin.
Sir.
I actually have a token.
Jason!
There you
Oh,
go.
nice.
Yep. As soon as I heard it. Yeah.
It's
There he is.
21, was it?
There he is. Yeah, Sword 21. Yeah.
That motherfucker.
That dude is a
That
boss,
motherfucker.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, also apparently insults women a lot.
He's a complete
Yeah.
troll, dude. Yeah.
No,
He likes to fight.
He is in love with this woman. Because
Oh,
Same
she's
woman?
trying to avoid an Amoria knight.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So I am going to casually, like, she looks at me in a sort of distressed way, and I just casually kind of. I have wine and stuff in my hands. I will turn sort of into him
Okay.
and spill the wine all over.
I don't think you can do that with hospitality passion.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
I was doing it for her.
Yeah, but you still can't be inhospitable towards someone else while you're impassioned with hospitality.
Oh,
Yeah. I think your response has to be courteous in nature. To both, like you're like the ultimate diplomat in the moment, right?
Sir Justin, it is good to see you. What brings the foreign king down
he's
to
like-
our lands.
He's like, oh,
Well-
it's good to see you. He's like trying to look past you and reach her, and he's like, oh,
And
he's
I
like,
am,
no,
I
it's
am
okay.
in his way.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
a
like keep
wall.
getting in his way, and he doesn't really notice that you're getting in his way. Just the way you do it is sort of like not super confrontational. It's just you just come off like what's it, Colin
let's
Robinson from the Energy Vampire from
Yeah.
What They Do in the Dark. You're just
What We
annoying,
Do in
but
the
you
Dark.
you don't come off like you're doing it on purpose. And before you know it, she like whispers like or mouse like thank you as she kind of like escapes into the crowd, and then he just looks back. He's looking at you to tell you. He's like, look, man, King Leo de Grance is here. I don't really know, but have you seen this? And he looks back to look at her. Where'd she go? Where'd she? And then he like
Where'd
walks
you
off.
go, sir?
Yeah, he goes to walk off, and he's lost her though. She's
Crawling away under a table.
yeah.
Yeah. Keep paying it forward, Cormac. Do it.
I think what happens
Maybe
is
keep paying it forward.
he goes to like follow her above the salt where she escapes to, and Sir Ithel just steps forward in front of him.
And now he's stuck between two walls.
Yeah, I like it.
Sir Ithel, have you met Sir Justin? Like actually met him? Sir Justin, this is my sire, Sir Ethel.
And I think Justin's like just gives a look like shit, and then says Sir Ithel, and then looks back at you both and frowns. He doesn't really. Again, it's not like you slighted him. It's the opposite. That's the whole point of courtesy, right? It's like you very graciously got in his way. So
And now I'm showing him around to other people.
yeah,
Really
yeah.
getting in his way.
You're distracting him 100%. We're gonna zoom away from that, but you did end up with your 2 extra geniality there. As we zero in on Kalis.
I think Sir Collis would still be intrigued about this Leo de Grance. So, moving on from his drunken uncle, I think he would move to probably somebody more sober near the salt and see where this king is from, and then what exactly is he petitioning King Nanteleod for.
All right, let's give me the roll.
Alright.
All right, absolutely success. You know who we don't have here that probably is here? What was the name of your sire while you were squire?
That was... I forget his name.
Was it Mathonwy?
Hold up.
This dude?
It might have been the Huntsman.
I think Mathonwy was a huntsman. I want to make sure. Yeah, because Orlando's the...
Yep, that was him.
Okay, we'll say he's near the salt. It makes sense. He's from Kindon.
Sir Carlos would approach him. Sir Mathonwy, it's very good to see you. I came to ask of you. I've seen and heard of King Leo de Grance, and I'm curious. This king, he has his name seems to portray that he's definitely foreign, and I can't seem to figure out from the other guests what exactly is he petitioning the king for.
He nods. Ah, yes. Well, I can't say exactly, but if I had to speculate, Leodegrance, I believe, came back over with Uther. I think that during the era of Vortigern, the tyrant, his parents, or one of them perhaps, fled along in the Great Exodus to Brittany. That might explain his name. As far as who he is and what he represents, there to the north of us, the kingdom of Cambrian. He is a former ally of Uther, Pendragon. He comes here in banners under a banner of peace. They say that perhaps the two kings might ally against the Irish. Or at
It would
least in
definitely
defense.
be good.
Go ahead, Ben.
It would definitely be beneficial for Escavalon to have additional allied swords.
And quite so. They aren't without their own troubles, though. Between us and them is the kingdom of Powys. Powerful kingdom. I think so. He says a powerful mountain kingdom is what he'll establish.
I see.
And you, my boy, how have you been? I haven't seen you since your knighting.
I've been good. The King Nanteleod has sent us on a few quests, and I only just returned into Carline for this feast. But some ambushes here and there, and then some political ideologies, as you know. But I've been good. And yourself?
I heard about the trouble in Kyndon. The forests are crawling with the Irish still. Doing our best to find them, but they're moving in small units and keeping to the trees. Like cowards.
Yes. They'd be fools to meet us out on the open plain in a pitched battle.
Indeed. All right. I think. Do you have anything else you want to get out of that, Wergar? I think if not,
I don't think Sir Collis would.
but he'll like share a drink with you, kind of hang out still, if you're wanting to catch up on old times.
Yep, Sir Collis would.
It's been it's 1 year later, right? So you haven't seen him for a good year, which is the least amount of time you've spent with him in like almost a decade, right? So we're gonna cut over to Rain at that point for round 2.
So Rain, after being content with helping the other guests enjoy the feast, would see if he can meet up with any of his family. His main focus would be if his mother or his uncle were there, because they're the elders of his family. But any of them,
I think
would be
both
fine.
would be here.
Okay.
What would be your? You looking for rumors? You just looking to kind of look after
that's
them?
the tricky part, because my character's uncle is my liege or whatever.
Yep.
So, I mean, it'd be more of just checking in with family, catching up, and just seeing what he's been up to while I've been gone.
Huh?
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not looking for anything in particular. Just seeing, fishing essentially, seeing what comes up, conversation.
Let's do it as an intrigue then. I think in that
Okay.
case, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not gonna try to impassion that because that would end very badly if I failed that.
You get a +1 though.
If I impassion.
No, you get the +1 from your geniality from last round. Still got one.
Right, that's true, but my intrigue is horrible. But we'll try it anyways because it doesn't matter. It could be fun either way. So yeah, I
Hey,
passed.
look
So
at
it's
that.
good. Look at that! I
Hey.
made it.
All right. It's
Hey, I got one.
it's a natural 5 or under, so you get a check on it. Like you got a 6, but
Oh,
normally you
sweet.
got a 5. Yeah. The rolling
Okay,
is
that's good.
actually, guys, in the feast, anytime the one roll you make per round, you get a check in automatically. So
Okay.
So
Oh.
Cormac's courtesy, assuming you pass, sorry. So Cormac's
Is that only
courtesy.
skills?
Well, it's the skill or whatever the card calls for. So temperate.
I
works.
meant like okay, so
Yeah.
if I had to roll temperate for
Dagger
my stuff,
for Trent,
Gotcha.
automatically.
All right. I will make sure I mark that then.
Gaming
All right.
or intrigue.
He also
in the case
didn't
of
give you
Palace.
the success for succeeding that temperate roll in the first round.
Yeah, I marked it after you said that. So
Yeah, so you get those when you succeeded those, you get the pick on it.
okay, that's good
Cool.
to know. Forward. That is awesome because my
Yeah.
temperate is already epically high.
I think for Rain, your mother's really happy to see you. So Maliri will chat with you and make sure you're okay, and she asks you like if everyone's treating you okay. Like you start to feel like a child, like when she's treating you.
Right.
Is everyone
yeah,
treating you okay? Like, are you being bullied? Like that kind of comment. Like she's
Right.
definitely playing off the whole like you're still her little boy, so she's treating you
Well,
like that.
yeah. I'm her only surviving
Her own-
kid. So,
yeah.
yeah. It'd be like, yes, mother. No, mother. Everyone's been great.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Yeah. I'm doing lots of stuff for the king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a while, you end up speaking to Sir Hayden, who is your lord.
Yeah, my uncle.
You're
yeah.
the only one that doesn't serve directly under Nanteleod's.
That's correct.
As your liege, you have a
Right.
lord who is your uncle, and then he serves Nanteleod.
That's correct. Yeah.
He's well, let's do. I'm just gonna see what
Let's
kind
see what
of
you
traits
got.
he might have. Oh, he's honest. There we go. High hospitality.
I like that. That
Yeah.
fits.
A little selfish though.
That's fine. I mean, he's actually more honest than what Rain is,
Yeah.
so that works out good. I like that. His hospitality fits pretty good though too. So that's
Folklore.
folklore. That's interesting. Okay.
He leans in a bit. How went the situation with the Irish?
And he could tell that Rain is a little hesitant at first because they haven't reported in yet, and he just kind of gives him a look. Yeah, because it's out of place for him to actually speak on it right now, right?
Yeah.
But it's that kind of look where it's like it could have went. I mean, it was good, like he's back obviously, so it was solid, but it was not the kind of answers they were looking for.
He leans in. King Leo de Grance and his entourage were ambushed on the way here. In our lands.
Okay. Yeah, so Rain would
Nope.
kind of raise her brow and kind of be like, Irish?
No.
That makes him actually straight up confused at that point. Mountain men?
He nods.
To what end would they be doing that? Trying to weaken our king?
There's been rumors more that with the Irish about and the order in general falling within all of Cambria, that men are growing, their egos are growing greater, their ambitions as well. I think that the king might move to muster.
It's very poor timing, given what we've heard. It cannot be helped, though. We'll do what we have to, what we must.
All right.
We'll have to see what the king decides once
And
he
you know,
hears information.
This is the unfortunate side when you talk to your uncle. It's like always business. He doesn't know how to
And
what
that's
I mean?
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very fair because Rain looks to him as a fatherly figure. He's the only fatherly figure he's had in his life because his father died basically year 1 of Rain's existence.
Oh,
so,
yeah. So he's like a surrogate father almost.
Yeah, he is basically my father. Yeah, in
All
all
right.
but actuality. Yeah, but yeah, that was great. Okay, appreciate it.
Awesome. That brings us to Gwydir.
Yeah, I think it's timely. I was already planning on going up and trying to sneak up and whisper in the king's ear and sort of give him a summary of what had happened, given that nobody has yet, and that information may affect what happens at the feast and whatever else and stuff you might want to know. Anyway,
Rune, were you intending to do the same?
Yeah.
You guys want to duo this since you're the only two left?
Yeah.
Does that
Yep.
interrupt what you're doing, Trent, or did you?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I think maybe because we're sitting nearby, I think Gwydir probably just mention it. I don't think it would have occurred to him to ask Rune if he wanted to come, but I think he'd be like, "Fuck, somebody needs to go tell the king this shit because if that guy's a king and blah blah blah, there's politics involved." And then Rune's probably like, "Oh yeah, I'll come because I led the thing." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
Yeah.
Rune's getting up already. He's like, I gotta do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only say that because I think Yampa had mentioned that he was setting up for this round.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
No, that's
all the time. I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
So here's the trick with this one: when you're below the salt, you have to find a way to get above the salt to get to the king. So I think this might be like the role, but I'll allow it to be creative. You guys to be creative. I won't force an intrigue. Let me know how you want to try and get past the wall that is Sir Ithel to get on by. Supported by a roll, of course. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, of course.
I would just flex, the status that he gave me. It's like, hey, I have news for the king.
Okay.
I bring news from the trip.
Yeah. And do you think that is best served by intrigue, by courtesy? What would you say?
I think I'd be fucking courteous to this big ass dude.
Okay. That's fair. So you could run that, and I don't think I need both of you to do that.
Maybe I'll roll if he fails.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'll come up with plan B.
Oh, there was no plan B required. So there we go.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, so you guys get to the front. We should still give you something so that you have a chance to tick something here, Gwydir, before we get into the role play. Or do you want to kind of see what happens first in the combo? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe let's just play it out and then something will emerge.
Yeah. Okay. So the two of you end up reaching Nanteleod. Ithel will stand aside when Rune says that confidently. He nods and remembers that. He didn't remember it at first. He was like stepping to get in your way. And then when you say that, he nods and steps aside very sort of graciously, I guess. Very modestly. The two of you reach the king.
I was muted again.
Gwydir will take a moment to look at Rune first to be like,
just like mouthing things and not saying anything. Ruin obviously, like bows or kneels, whichever is more appropriate for this kind of thing. My king, I bring news. Good or bad, I will let you be the judge.
He nods and he kind of looks over to Dubricus and Leodegrance that's the side of him. And then leans in, pertaining to the Irish.
Indeed. For the best parts of our little endeavor, King Derek has agreed to give us a year. But he does expect you to pay tribute.
Until he like grunts and a bit of frustration, you can tell he's not super happy to hear that. He doesn't say anything immediately. Kind of, it's like he's processing it. That is worse than I expected.
Indeed. I mean, I kind of don't want to say everything, so I could like, Whittier, do you want to like mention the tribesmen that he killed?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was about to. I didn't want to interrupt the king, but yeah, I think Whittier's probably like shaking with like, I want to say a thing, you know. And as soon as there's that little moment, he goes, "Hi, king, I," and he's like, so excited, he has to check his voice, I also think that, well, the king there is arrogant and young, and he's making more enemies than he needs to. He has, you see, he's got the mountain men on his border as well, and he made a public display of, well, forcing one to pay tribute or die. And I think maybe, as much as we don't have a great relationship with the mountain men, maybe we could use them against him. And I think, if you'll permit me a moment of pride, I think we could win. I think we can. If there be war, I think we should have it on our terms. Strike first, strike hard. Not that you ask. Hiking, sorry.
Yeah, you can tell he's like reflecting on all of this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? Let's figure out, Whittier, what you might want to roll here. See how well this goes.
I was thinking I was going to roll intrigue, but maybe if I'm trying to convince the king to start a war, it's all right. I don't know.
It'd probably be diplomacy, which we don't have on the sheets yet.
Yeah.
And we'll probably get our first tick in that. Actually, why don't we do that as a exercise? All of you may open up your sheet, scroll down to skills at the very bottom, enter a custom one named diplomacy, and put it at 1. It'll be turned to 1 this year, kind of thing. But just so we don't forget, we'll give it to 1 automatically for you, because you guys went on an actual like full-scale diplomatic mission between lords. So what is diplomacy versus intrigue? Diplomacy is trading with lords and ladies and kings, like people of importance, and advising, and so it's a bit beyond the protocol of a standard knight. It would be something a diplomat would be expected to do.
I like my 5% chance. I'll roll that if you want.
You don't have to. No, you can absolutely do like orate, I think, to make your point here.
Okay. Do I roll loyalty lord? Should I passion? I mean, it should passion. Why not passion? They're there. Maybe loyalty lord or hospitality? It doesn't really seem. It seems more like a loyalty to him thing, being like you could be the High King as opposed to a loyalty thing. Okay, I'll roll loyalty lord.
Okay.
I have passed. It is checked already, and then I'll roll. All right. I have passed.
All right, so you put up so that'll get you your 2 geniality as well, and you put up a convincing, you raise some very convincing points, but he's not quick to react to them. You can tell he's very his reckless is 8, so he's very low on the act immediately kind of guy. Because I will need to think on this. Pardon me, both of you. I have an announcement to make. He looks over at King Leo de Grance, and Leo de Grance nods as well. And the two both kind of stand at the same time. Nanteleod speaks first. To my wonderful lords and ladies of Escavalon, we have gone through great adversity to get where we are, and we have before us a gem of Britain, a gem of Cambria, a gem of Gales. Carleon is the memory of Vortimer and all that he stood for, both here and in Logos. We in Escavalon have not forgotten that Vortimer once ruled both. It was my intention to support Uther against the Saxons, but with the death of the king of Estragales and all the terror that brought thereafter, we were delayed. Perhaps for the better, given the infamous feast. King Leo de Grance was in communication with us, but also in alliance with Uther. He too was waylaid by the mountain kingdoms of Powys and Gomereth. The three Cadlus that war against Norgales continue to press upon the border of Norgales. And without King Pellinor, the north of Cambria is lost. I'd like to welcome King Leo de Grance as a friend and a guest here in our court. And with that, he motions to Leo de Grance. This looks a little scripted, you know? Leo de Grance looks back to him and nods. People of Estragales, I believe the people of Cambrian, whom I represent as their lord and king, face dire challenges, though they come from the mountains, not from the Irish. To our east is the threat of the Saxons and the threat of a Logris that is no longer united. I would like to position myself, and I've made the travel to do so, as Nanteleod's supporter for his rightful place as both the king here in king here in Escavalon, and the king of Logris.
Hey! Gwydir sort of makes a big, and then probably sits down.
Yeah, fucking one just like nudges him.
Yeah, there's a mixed crowd too. It's like probably like Whittier's responses. Like there are some cheers, but there are some who hesitate.
Yeah, that's certainly got Rain's attention from whatever conversation he was having with his family. He's all locked in now for sure.
I think Sir Carlos would cheer for that.
Cormac's all for it.
And Serene is actually kind of just processing. He's quiet.
Howard.
And Nanteleod continues at that, and he says, but before we can face enemies from afar, we must shore up and protect those who ally with us here in Cambria. There are the Cadlus to the north, who threaten the existence of Norgales. There is Powys, who threatens all who border it, including us. And there is Estragales, who have united with King Anguish of Leinster and brought more Irish raiders to our lands. We're not ready to face any of them at this point, for we have mountain men within our own lands that have brought war not only to our people, but to our guest in King Leo de Grance. Is there anything anyone says in this moment?
I mean, out of character, the obvious question would be how out of, like, I mean, I don't want to disrespect any sort of courtly, like, etiquette. So, I mean, I don't.
Why don't we say
Dude.
that Nanteleod will
3
turn...
cheers for the High King!
Yeah. He says, he does have a loyalty to his subjects, right? Nanteleod does. So he says, my lords and ladies, my knights and servants, these matters of war and conquest are not without their dangers. And I understand if they bring questions of uncertainty and doubt, perhaps even fear. I will hear from you if you have any questions.
Okay, Rain's gonna be thoughtful for a minute. Give me a minute.
While he's being thoughtful, yeah, Gwynir just stands up and grabs a glass of wine and like another one from nearby the table and just raises them both. 3 cheers for the High King!
I think Cercalis would probably test his loyalty lord to see exactly how enthusiastic he is about this.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what? I like that. I want to do that too.
I'm actually curious as to my uncle's reaction to this news.
Do we have our swords in the feast?
No, never.
Okay.
You never have
Good.
weapons in the feast, other than apparently a dagger, which I don't understand how that's allowed. It's probably a knife for the food, for the porpoise or whatever.
Yeah, cut the food. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we take away swords, but we allow assassination weapons. Those are
Yeah, you know,
Yes.
Varys could have done quite well with just a dagger and a feast. He would be
It's a traditional porpoise blade.
I think Roan grabs some wine as well and joins Gwynir's toast, but not as loudly.
Yeah.
So there's one fine point I want to make too, because he was pitched as being the king of 2 kingdoms, but that doesn't make you the High King. So Gwynir took that even further, just to kind of note. He called for a High King, which is a role that the only way to get there is that the collegiate votes you into that. Now, being the king of 2 major kingdoms is certainly a good way to get there.
fair point.
That was Uther's plan, as he dominated everyone who didn't fund any.
I think Cercalis would stand on the bench that he's on and say loudly with his cup of ale, my king, point us to the enemies that you want destroyed, and I swear by my family's name, I will be there to support and defend you.
At this point, sorry, Cormac, did you have something you wanted to add in this?
Cormac's gonna look over to Finnegan and just smile and let him know everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, so how is Sir Rain's uncle, Sir Hayden, doing on this? What's his kind of reaction to this?
remember his worry about mustering? This sounds like it's going in that direction. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious to see if he was kind of supportive of this idea, or if he was more of the worried sort, or
Yeah.
maybe perhaps a little bit more prudent than our
I
king is.
What I'm noticing too is that none of his his skill was not like a weapon skill that was high.
Yeah.
So he's probably not a super extraordinary knight when it comes to his skills. He's probably older and aging and not that capable.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sir Rain would differ than his uncle, which, given his love for family, kind of would be counterintuitive. But Sir Rain is young and energetic. He's famously energetic. And the thought of being able to go and seek some glory is just too much for him. So he actually joins the rest in their cheers to the king. And says, as the others have said, my king, point us to the enemy and we will defeat your enemies and our allies' enemies.
With that, he looks to the crowd as the crowd kind of quiets down. He says, I will meet with my small council now, and I invite our. Sorry, this is Bob forgetting. What's the word? Convoy? What's a
Envoy?
formal diplomatic envoy? There we go.
Envoy.
Our envoy to Estragales to join me. So, assuming y'all go, if anyone doesn't want to go, feel free, but I don't want to bore you all to tears as we do a transition. So, strangely enough, you see it's an Nanteleod. You see that Dubricus is here. You see that Saint Iltid is brought here, which not everyone loves. You see that the Seneschal is here. But the surprising one is Leo de Grants is brought in.
Nice.
And then it's you guys and Sir Elaine.
Good company all around.
Otherwise,
send
it's
Finnegan
private.
off with my mother
Yeah.
for right now, and yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, and Finnegan like is really uncertain about all this. Like you get the impression he's still a bit shell shocked or battered. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Just
It
moving
hasn't
everyone.
even been a year since
Yeah, exactly.
he
Lost his mother
was
in
adopted. Yeah.
an enormous tragedy, apparently.
Hmm.
It's like shit. We all lost. one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I expect that he's not going to be, back to being a regular boy just yet.
He's so gonna be damaged.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure his vengeance is going to get up there.
That's
He's gonna
fair
start-
though.
He's going to start, just beating on people the first chance he starts training.
I did name him after Finnegan.
right. King Leo de Grants goes around to each of you like, well, everyone's getting ready and introduces himself to you and kind of looks to do the same. So he goes to Cormac. King Leo de Grants.
I am Sir Cormac, household knight to King Nanteleod. It's
He
a
looks-
pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure to meet you. And to Callus. Sorry.
Sir Carlos will do a small bow. King, I'm in service to King Nanteleod. I'm a household knight. It is very nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Dude, Serene.
Sir Rain bows as well when he's approached. King Leodegrance, Sir Rain. I serve my uncle, Sir Hayden, who then serves our king.
He nods.
And
I think he finds that a little funny, right? He's like, "Oh, you're here in this small council room. Where's your lord?" Right? Like, there's the
right,
yeah. You're like
You're right.
skipping. You're skipping the chain of command here.
right.
Guilty.
I kind of ousted, my uncle there. Yeah. It is a pleasure to meet you. It is a great honor.
Pleasure to meet
It's
you
not
as
often
well.
that we get to meet foreign kings.
Indeed.
And he just nods with that respectfully.
He nods in turn. He turns to Rune next. Your father, Sir Rodri, yes?
Indeed, it was.
We fought together under Aurelius.
I'm not so sure how to take that information. I probably knew my father better than I did.
He nods. He was a good man. Good soldier. Good knight. And then
Thank you.
finally he kind of turns his eyes to Gwydir.
I think Goodyear would like sort of reach out to take his hand, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your Highness, I'm so glad to have you on site. I think you'll come in time to learn that you've made a fantastic decision. King Nanteleod, what a man, honest. He's
He's
I mean, I'm sure you're a fine king in your own right, but wow.
he kind of chuckles at that and he says, "You're the eager one that called for High King earlier. We're a long way from that, my friend. Though
Not so long as you
Nanteleod
might
would be
think.
a good choice."
And you a good second best, I'm sure.
He doesn't seem offended. Yeah.
Good. That's lucky.
He says, you announce yourself as Gwydir, right?
I haven't yet.
No,
but,
he says,
but
yeah, he says,
yeah.
he kind of chuckles and he's like, "Your name, Sir Knight."
Oh, I'm Sir Gwydir. My father, Sir Shul, he fought with you as well. He was killed by the Saxons, of course, at Buracum.
I had a relative named Gwydir. Always liked the name. I think should I have a son, I will name him Gwydir.
I wouldn't be so keen. I've never met one I liked.
The Archbishop at that point kind of chimes in a very nosy kind of maester, Archmaester kind of way and says, "Your wife is pregnant, is she not?" And there's a look on Leodegrance's face, like if I wanted to talk about that, I would have mentioned it, but he just smiles and says, "Yes. Yes, she is, in fact." And Archbishop Dubergus says, "Oh, good. And if you have a daughter, what would you name her?" Like almost like inserting himself into Gwydir's conversation here, right? Like making small talk, but in that weird kind of way where he's just kind of pushing himself into a conversation,
Yeah.
And Leo
Anything but marrying, I would recommend.
Yeah, he laughs. He says, "Well, in Brittany, I was partial to some of the names on the mainland. I've always thought Guinevere was pretty."
Guinevere. It is quite similar.
Right? With that, Archduke is like, "We should have a conversation sometime soon." King Leodegrance. And Leodegrance gives a nod of, you can tell he's just not super friendly with the Archbishop, the Catholic Archbishop, or British Roman Christian Archbishop. So
Sir, if it isn't too forward of me, I do have a bit of a question. I ended up meeting a Lady Bryn earlier this evening.
Ah, yes. Lady Bryn.
Would it be possible to have another conversation with her? I fear that our meeting was short-lived, as admittedly a rather drunk Sir Justin had set his eyes upon her, but in her time of need I stepped forward and made sure that she could make it to safety. I just wish to introduce myself.
Yes, hold on 1 second. That is the daughter of one of my knights, Cerdic.
That's an auspicious name.
Right? I will see what I can do, of course. If she is up for such a conversation, I will be sure to arrange it.
I thank you, sir.
It's the least I can do. With that, Nanteleod is going to add some small talk. He's probably going to ask Rune how fared the Irish, since it was his role. So we'll give him a second. We will go to King Leo de Grants, who says it's no small news, but we should talk about the trouble with your mountain folk, King Nanteleod, if we can, in the same council, if it is good for you. Nanteleod gives us a nod. There's a little bit of a like suspicion in Nanteleod in response to Leo de Grants there. Seems a little bit out of place there.
That guy's face looks familiar.
It's Richard Greer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
No?
Nope.
That totally looks so close to him.
Oh, you want to see who it is? Hold on.
Yeah, that's strikingly similar to me.
He does look very familiar. He's an actor, right?
Yeah.
I'll show you. Hold on.
I mean, that's just wow. And that's all like the AI art generator, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack that. Just
No, we're killing a few anyways. Hold on.
okay.
I'll show you who it is. It's who it becomes later.
Yeah. Okay.
Though the AI, might throw in pieces if you mention like,
Right.
Arthur stuff, then it might have gone, aha, I'll grab first night. But in
Yeah.
general, it is.
Oh,
No,
wow.
it's him.
Patrick Stewart.
Wow. I mean, I can see it now, but holy shit, man.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
not used to seeing him
very
with hair.
young.
Yeah.
That's what. It's just he's so famously bald.
That's true.
I reckon if I cover,
Wow.
yeah, actually, if you cover his hair, just cover his hair with your thumb or whatever, he
Yep.
looks exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely him.
Yeah,
Wow.
nailed it.
Damn, that is good. I knew he looked familiar. I couldn't place it.
For sure.
Wow. That is cool shit, man. Well
Hmm.
done.
That is an ode to Leo de Grants, who is an Arthurian figure, and he played him a very young, well, as young as, I think Patrick Stewart was born age 40, but
Fair.
yeah, but a very young
But he
version
played him in
of him.
Excalibur.
Yep. He was
Okay.
David Grant's in Excalibur.
Very cool, man.
Right.
Much
That
approval
makes
for
sense.
that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so with that in mind, we're gonna kind of move in. So King Nanteleod, as people settle, right? Because it's like people schmoozing and talking. Finally, Nanteleod moves to look towards Rune and says, he looks to Elaine first and then to Rune and says, "What news? We should discuss further the matters of the Irish. I look to my small council to advise me. My understanding is that we have been given a year of time before they will call for us to go. Sorry, Bob's losing the word here. What is it?
Tribute.
Tribute. Thank you. I was like, tradition. Why is that coming? Yeah. Oh, tribute. My thought is we should use that time wisely.
And
I do not
indeed,
intend to fund Estragel's Irish any further than they committed. But we must be ready to face whatever consequences the Irish will bring upon us. as a result of not doing so.
my king, if I could interrupt here for a second, I did forget to include in said information that King Derek pronounced that he had the support of the Irish in Leinster, that they would come to his aid.
That would explain the curse.
Mm-hmm.
King Anguish is... I met him once in Gorlo's lands. I did not find him particularly friendly. And I could imagine that he has less interest in conquest than he does in the spoils of our lands. So I do not see him as a true ally. Only one that could be called on for additional spoils of war. I'm guessing that is the best that King Derek can offer him.
So if we go on the offensive, the Irish will be less inclined to sail across the water with no promise of loot. They'll simply be holding lands of their friends. They won't have the chance to pillage and raid.
He nods. And if we go on the offensive, we expose our back to Breckennog. There's been many reports while you've been away. The mountain men have organized, launching raids north of here.
Well, King Derek is also having issues with them, my lord. In fact, one of his first acts when we arrived was to execute a mountainman king.
With
I
that,
do not recall the name.
yeah, with that, and I think it might maybe be the first time Elaine sort of inserts himself at all politically in anything, but he just says, it was the king of Yestrad Twi. We met him when we met him on my last envoy to Estergales, when I escorted the Logris Knights there. He had fooled one of the knights into challenging him to a horse race through the mountains. But then that knight pulled a trick on him and substituted himself out with the better rider.
On your Florence.
He was... The people of Ystradtui are... Well, they're smaller than our own Brickion. They are 2 tribes, perhaps, consisting not terribly far from the king's lands, or from the Irish, from the lands of Estergales.
So by my count, we turn them against him then. They've got a reason to hate him. They just killed their leader. What do they want? Land, stability. Well, they can have it. West.
There's like some nods, but like no one speaks right away. It's like everyone's considering the options.
Yeah, Rain is definitely in that like consideration group there. He's very thoughtful right now, trying to think of a way to maximize this.
We just need to be better than him. We just need to be the better option. By just a touch.
We have some options before us. We have our own people in Brecon, our mountain cousins. He says with a little bit of a uncertainty in the cousin part of it. We have the mountain folk of Estergales, and we have Estergales itself. From the sounds of it, we have 1 year to prepare.
And what's south? In Cornwall. I know Idris. He's been talking about his troubles. Well, at least I've heard. There's always Irish down that way. Perhaps these, maybe a distraction. I know not well the land down there, but it's possible that there is something he can take advantage of. Perhaps split their forces, pull the Irish south, while we deal with them north.
Logris is in trouble. Are you familiar with... He pauses for a little bit. Did you know that Vortigern had a second wife? Saxon wife.
What role would that be? Intrigue.
Folklore works too.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'll go with that because I rolled it already. I had heard High King, I had.
That son, Vortigern's last, has arrived on these lands again, from the lands of Saxony. He's taken over the county of Hantone, and he aims to deliver himself as High King by vote or by conquest.
Goth. It doesn't sound like he's more like his father or like his brother, Vortimer. Vortimer is Nanteleod's dad?
Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Yeah. Mudrun was his dad.
That's right, sorry. I knew that.
Who's to say? He was raised by the Saxons, so I do not believe him to be raised right. Or at least that is my fear. I will not let
As if anything raised by a Saxon could be raised properly.
Okay. Someone else said it. He feels better. No.
Yeah.
He's
Not to disparage family, my king.
He's family only by blood. His mind would have been warped by the Saxons and their ideals of conquest. The religion of
Heathenism.
paganism. and slaughter.
Well, there's a difference between being an upstanding pagan and being one of those Saxon heathens.
Sir just kind of cocks his head a little bit at that.
Yeah, just like
It's just like,
slowly, like looks
I
at Gwydir.
don't know about that.
But he just like gives him a little nod, like
Right? Yeah.
It's like the bad pagans, the bad ones. Yeah.
the evil ones.
Right.
Yeah.
So Sir Rain, he's taking in all this information, and he's been pretty thoughtful and quiet this whole meet so far. He speaks up. I believe what Sir Gwydir speaks of is viable and probably the most practical, if I may say so myself. I'm not experienced as you, of course, King Nanteleod. However, we do have to deal with our own Cambrian issues with the Mountain. What is it that is forcing their hand to harass us and our allies at this moment? Is there anything we can influence to perhaps sway them, as suspicious as I am of these mountain men?
Nanteleod nods. We have options when it comes to breaking a Nog, and that would be my preference. I don't know if we can muster enough force to eliminate the Irish. And if we strike first and don't destroy the king or convince him to surrender, then we lock ourselves into a long-term affair.
And
A
damage
conflict
ourselves.
that will leave us exposed to all the other threats. I think the threats within our own borders must be dealt with. If we can bring the mountain kingdoms under our banners, their numbers can serve as our infantry. And we can do so through battle, through diplomacy, or through raiding.
Rain nods a bit to that. And he's quiet for a second, or maybe two. And then he speaks up. My king, my family were fervent supporters of, I think it was his grandfather, you said, Vortimer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of your grandfather. And whatever you decide, my family will do so. You have done nothing but shown us your leadership. And while I personally would favor battle, as it is what I am best suited for, if we can do so without shedding the blood of these mountain men, that would be the best course of action for all of us, in my opinion.
And if we force them into service, then they'll resent us, and they'll look for ways to strike back.
Yes.
If we convince them to join us somehow, then it's a stronger relationship. Maybe one we can keep for some time. I'd rather not have, well, people angry at me, fighting beside me.
I agree with this.
I guess it comes
Dubercus.
down.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guess it comes down to: do we prefer to be respected or feared?
Respect always brings more. Respect always brings more warriors who are willing to fight harder than fear does.
Fight harder and willing to die if necessary for the cause.
Dubercus leans in with like a softer voice and he says, "But perhaps there's an option for both. My king, what if we were to bring the mountain kingdoms to their knees and then force alliance through marriage?"
Who would you suggest to marry off? Archbishop.
Seems like I'm due for a new betrothal anytime now. So
Are you saying that you'd rather have Gwydir married off to one of these mountain men? Or mountain women, as the case may be?
whatever. I'll take anyone.
Give me an intrigue roll, everyone.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm pretty sure that Sir Rain
crit.
is pretty suspicious of this, but he doesn't see it, apparently.
Callus. Crit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's not said. I think so. So Rune and Cormac and Gwydir, you all follow his eyes. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Rune, Cormac, Gwydir. I guess Rain's the one that doesn't pick up on this.
I'm the only one that doesn't pick up on it. Yep.
The three of you see him look to Elaine. For Collis, you've heard some rumors before. You've heard that Elaine is Nanteleod's illegitimate son.
That explains some shit.
That does explain some shit.
But nothing is said. The Archbishop says, one of your loyal subjects, I would say. Perhaps one from this room. And then, like, Cormac's comment about Sir Gwydir. Does anyone pipe up? Like, no one's mentioned that Gwydir just got himself into a political betrothal.
He did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There is that. Yeah, I think
There might be a reason I threw Gwydir's name out there for this instead.
Yeah. I think first of all, Gwydir will be like, "Why are you looking at Elaine? He's nobody. He's a good knight, but what's he gonna do? He's not even a great horse rider."
Wow.
Yeah. Some look offended, but I think most of the people know Gwydir enough to know that's not serious. Or is it in a challenging way, kind of thing?
No, that's
Dubercus just says, Elaine is a constable. Royal constable. Perhaps he would do.
I suppose. Speaking of which, it's probably about time I brought up that apparently I have been betrothed to the king's cousin over there, one named Neve. She hates me and everybody else, but she's apparently a woman as far as I can tell, which good start.
I think with that, like, you see the king kind of put his head in his hand for a moment, and Dubercus looks across the table, doesn't say anything. Leo de Grants looks at you with a bit of a raised eyebrow.
I didn't do anything. I wasn't there, High King. I'm sorry.
I think, okay, guys, we are about to hit our end. So I just want to find out what we want to prep for, or if you guys need a few minutes to discuss. I think King Nanteleod is going to leave. He's probably going to do multiple things here. He wants a solution for Breccianog, and he's prepared to muster and march by the end of the summer, as not to draw it out into winter. So he needs to know if you intend to do anything other than battle. like if you intend to go and try and treat with them first, or try and raid them or something, or assassinate somebody in a raid, or capture someone in a raid. Those options would be you guys being like an advanced party that goes ahead and does that before potential muster, to try and stop the muster from being needed. Or alternatively, King Nanteleod is going to be launching raids into, like, yes, we can't war the Irish, but we can sure as hell raid in turn, right? So that's going to be happening.
What sort of skill would it be if if someone wants to try and sway the mountain men without actually having to, butcher them, or assassinate them, Would it be?
So
Is it
typically
like
it'd be
orator?
diplomacy, but they are mountain
Maybe
men, and they're not necessarily adherent to the formal ways of the Kimrick, right? That would require
Right. Could it be trial by combat or anything like that?
potentially, yeah. I think you don't super know a lot about the brick.
Yeah. Okay, I was just curious. I mean, because Sir Rain, like, he would be almost adamant, unless overruled by the king, to try and do so without, like, flat out raiding and conquering them.
Mm.
But that's just
they have
him.
5 tribes and they have a king, so it's possible you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You could try that. You could try the marriage angle. You could try the conquer and marriage angle. You could try to ignore that. We're just gonna go.
Yeah,
raid
Sir
some
Rain
Irish.
is totally suspicious of the marriage angle. He's not catching vibes off of the Archbishop, like, at all. That dude's sketchy as shit.
That's fair.
Well, yeah, he is.
He's
Yeah.
Roman. That's fair.
He's a Roman
Exactly.
Catholic, of course. He's
Right,
sketchy as hell.
exactly.
Almost
Not
as
like
bad as
that
pagans, right?
stand-up guy, Saint
That's right,
Illithid.
the saint. Now, if it was the saint, offering that up, I mean, I'd be all in on that. But this other
I
guy,
do, I do, I do think peace is our best option with the Mountain Men. In fact, I do think a alliance with the Mountain Men would be better served than antagonistic.
yeah, even if we can't like fully bring them in as like subjects, if we could at least get an alliance out of them, that would be fantastic.
Right,
At
right.
least for now, until we can butcher them later.
So I'm like full Crusader Kings mode right now, right? And
That's
how I
right.
play that game is I subdue people through might, right? So
Mhm.
like maybe not full on war, because one, it will deplete their forces, and then what they can bring to us is not that good. But raiding, taking what they have until they go like, okay, well, chillax. Clearly, we should work with you against this other stuff, you know.
Or they go, oh,
We're gonna side with your
well,
enemy.
we're gonna side with your enemy because you're being a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, there's a king mustering the army, and they're already weakened because of our raids.
Are they though?
I mean, I guess it depends on how bloody we are.
Yeah.
Why don't we raid the Irish with the mountain men? So we can
That's what I'm trying to like.
That's I think we should be
that's
raiding
what
the
I wanna do.
Irish while we gather the mountain men in Cambria. Yeah.
All right, so we're
That
so
was
we're
my
definitely going
goal.
for the blood god bit, but perhaps not against the mountain men.
Right. I mean,
Oh.
Sir Rain is totally up for just butchering people, but the Cambrians don't. Even though my character is suspicious of them, he trusts them basically more than he does the guy in Estragals and stuff right now. So.
Right. Because like, never mind, I don't want to say that on stream. Yeah, no. I was gonna make a Cormac comment there, but I don't. I'm
Oh
not gonna do
jeez.
it.
Oh, go for it.
No, I'm not
You're
going to.
just remember you are small and crunchy.
I'm not going. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, no, I'm down. I feel like, right, because might makes right kind of thing. In the world that we live in, and you can extend olive branches so much, and we don't want to look weak, you know.
Well, and that's the alternative. If we fail at bringing them under peacefully, then we take the head of the snake.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's why we raid with them as well, so they can see, like fighting together with somebody is a great way to build a relationship with them.
That
At
is
least in
also
Gwydier's
very true.
opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, even bring them in on some raiding. Yeah, I mean, whatever we decide to do in an actual scene or something for it would be,
Yes. So bringing you guys over to the map real quick. You guys are in
Yeah.
Carline. The Breckinog are based. Their capital is Brecon. Okay. And then,
Okay.
and those are the people that are at threat in your own kingdom that could raid you guys. Then there's the other mountain men that we've seen. The I always forget their name. The Estrad Twee or whatever. And they're
Yeah,
kind
the ones
they're
on
up here.
Netherrealm. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Which that would be great if we could get them too. That's why I mentioned like trying to unify the mountain men.
Yes, we roll through and we kick the hell out of the Astragals.
Yeah.
We have a sweet raiding party. And
Yeah.
then somebody else can do the envoy stuff. At least that would be Gwydier's suggestion, because I don't think that he's necessarily. I think there's only so many feasts he can go to in a row without him causing a diplomatic incident.
Marrying the whole nation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
Yeah.
maiden in every county of the nation is
Yeah.
betrothed
But
to
dear,
Gwydir.
aren't you a pagan? Don't you want multiple wives?
I mean, he gets lots of concubines, right?
It's
Let's
true,
give
yeah.
you let's
Not
give
wrong
you
about
all
that.
a quick diplomacy roll before we close too. We'll do one.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
there's a chance that maybe one out of you 5 gets a 1.
We can it. Sure.
Can we impassion?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I will do loyalty lord because I am doing this for the loyalty of Nanteleod.
Sure. That sounds legit
And I
to me.
failed anyways. That seems about right for Rain.
You
I
just do
am
it at normal
going
and drag.
to.
Yeah.
It is my honor to serve my lord.
Still failed.
Can we
Yeah, I
add
failed my
our geniality?
No.
Yeah.
Post feast, that ain't gonna work.
Well,
You know, you don't get anywhere unless you ask.
Yeah, it's fair.
in order to bring the mountain tribes to treat with us, we still have to answer for them. Well, they still have to answer to us for attacking one of our guests.
Yes.
So it'd probably be best to, well, from Sir Collis's thinking, to send a delegation to the mountain tribes in exchange for high-ranking hostages from either side in order to sort of settle this quarrel. In addition to bring out the mountain tribes for a raiding party, these hostages would allow for not just an uncertain peace or a certain peace, but also to bring out the mountain tribes so that we can do a joint raiding party so they can see our strength and then also our willingness to fight alongside them so that we wouldn't need the hostages anymore, and then we'd be on better terms rather than just sending a peace delegation where they'll
So you
think
mean-
us to be weaker because we didn't answer for their previous transgressions.
So are you meaning perhaps having wards in place?
Yeah, hostages, but wards technically.
Right, that's what I mean. So having wards so that after we then do a raid and they can see our combat prowess or lack thereof, depending on the way it turns out, then they may sway their future choice.
Yes, because they'd be less likely to backstab us because we have their wards.
Hmm.
What I'll do is I'm going to let this conversation kind of continue, but I'm going to go ahead and close the stream here.
Okay.
What I'm hearing is that whatever our decision is, it seems to be around Brecon, and it seems to
It does
be
seem
with
that way, yeah.
an advanced party ahead of a muster of any sort, either raiding or diplomacy, one of the two.
And
Sounds
what
right.
Trent just put in the chat is very awesome, and I would totally
Yeah.
support that as Sir Rain. But yeah, it's getting to that point where we can do that. I mean, Rain would be all in on that if we could get that to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That
And
would,
I think
that-
Gwydir should marry one of the mountain men's daughters so that,
Me.
we have
I'm
a-
in.
It's betrothal. It's
And
Right.
then he
makes
can
sense.
marry King Derek's cousin.
pleasant
because,
and solidify the political climate over there in
Trifecta.
Espargales. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. One from
Will
every.
will use your horniness to win.
Yeah, there you go. He binds the two nations, the two kingdoms,
The
and then he just
lustful wins.
keeps all his concubines, and it's all
That's
good.
All right, guys. If you like the stream, we're on the road to 200 followers. Would love the follow. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for watching. We're back. Sorry. Yeah, we are back next Friday. The Friday
Yeah.
after, I am not certain yet. This is
Okay.
FYI.
Yep.
That might have.
That would suit me as well because I want to go to the forest one weekend sometime soon. So.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we can plan for a week, Friday off.
I am not going to be available on the 3rd of November.
Okay.
We will talk / plan for that. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. If you like this, we do more Pendragon on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. And something else I wanted to get to the players, but I kind of got distracted in all the fun stuff that I was talking about. There's mention of a King Idris of Cornwall, who is apparently rumored to be expanding into Old Logres territory in the Duchy of Cornwall. So, Kingdom of Cornwall is crossing its borders into territory that wasn't previously theirs.
Right.
That's
cool.
the going
Okay.
rumor. All right, and
That-
we'll go ahead and wrap there. Thanks for watching.
In the year of our Lord, a mournful chill hath settled upon the realm of Britain, for it hath endured a desolation of 16 winters, bereft of a high king to guide and unite the land. The Supreme Collegium, entrusted with the sacred duty to anoint a rightful sovereign, hath faltered in its solemn task, lamented the whispers among the people. The 9 surviving legates, their voices entangled in a web of protocol and precedence, hath failed to act. Alas, it seemeth the twilight of the Collegium, as a potent body hath descended upon us. Throughout the land, tales abound of tribute paid, but alas, it floweth not into the coffers of a worthy ruler, but rather into the hands of invaders and those ill-fitted to the throne. The noble lords of Logres, once stalwart pillars of our realm, hath been laid low, though some secrets lie shrouded in mystery. Duke Ulfius, a survivor of many a harsh winter, findeth himself enshrouded in whispers of a shadowy alliance with the treacherous South Saxon. Duke Corneus, long in hiding, hath emerged from the shadows, and as he journeyed northward with exiles from Hanton, a fateful clash hath erupted at the border of East Saxon. In the wake of many a raid upon Caerwent, key strongholds once lost hath been reclaimed. The Irish, like a relentless horde, wage war upon the lands of Gales, swarming in their thousands, akin to vermin unleashed upon the fields. Norgales, in the throes of despair, offereth tribute to the mountain tribal leaders, known as the 3 Cadlus. These Cadlus, in their quest for willing souls to join their cause, dangle the allure of plunder. Yet, little plunder will be found in battling against the Irish. In the heart of Cambria, the kingdoms of Escavalon and Cambrian convene beneath the banners of peace, a meeting graced by the presence of the illustrious kings Leo de Grance and Nanteleod. King Idris of Cornwall hath need of willing souls, and the castellan of Castle Dimmock in Tintagel doth seek volunteers for his cause to defend against the King of Cornwall. King Cerdic of Wessex, ever the ambitious warlord, raiseth a formidable host, and seeketh the aids of mercenaries. A fleet of ships, a foreboding harbinger of strife, hath also been amassed under his banner. in the fabled lands of Salisbury, the great Marshal's tournament hath been postponed, for news of turmoil along their western borders hath reached their ears. The Castle Woodhouse, a bastion once held by the late Prince Madoc, and a hoary hill fort of Westford Castle, are said to have fallen under the dominion of mercenary armies. Yet the superstitious whisper of fey-folk and giants, laboring to reclaim what was lost in the days of Uther's invasion of the magician king's Summerlin.